Good morning, everybody. Dave Neal here with your rush hour ride to work on this Thursday, January 16th, 2025. Here are all the stories we've got for you this morning. We've got last-ditch attempts to buy TikTok. Will the app actually be going away, or will it be beastified? More on that. And speaking of TikTok, we've also got Heidi and Spencer making it mainstream, a billboard in Times Square, and an exclusive interview on Good Morning America explaining the nightmare week with a bittersweet ending. Also, we've got California wildfire updates, including a rancher explaining how goats are used on steep terrain to eat up dry brush. Will goats save California? Can we actually vote in a goat for maybe the governor? I don't know, old Billy Goat there. Wouldn't that be nice? Hey, who knows? And Biden says goodbye to the nation. He warns about the rise of tech and the oligarchy. And I don't know, maybe you might be feeling more optimistic than him, or maybe not. Either way, I'll share what Trump said about the job applications going out to work for him, who you should be associated with and who not. I've got all those stories and so much more coming up next on The Rush. All right, cancel culture is back, and it's getting rid of red dye number 3. But is this a good thing? Let's have a listen to why it's being banned and from where.
The major move from the FDA banning red dye number 3 from food years after it was banned from cosmetics and topical drugs. Here's Ariel Reshef.
It's the artificial food dye giving hundreds of products their bright red color, from candy and cakes to drinks and medication. But tonight, the FDA is moving to ban red dye 3 because of a potential cancer risk after a petition from food safety advocates.
By the way, I literally lived off of red licorice as a child. Twizzlers, anybody? Were Twizzlers not naturally red? Oh boy, we got issues.
Decades after FDA admitted that this chemical is indeed a carcinogen in animals, it has taken the product off the market.
Red dye 3 was banned from cosmetics and topical drugs in 1990. Today, the FDA saying the dye has not been linked to cancer in humans, only in rats.
Now, my question is this. How much of a carcinogen is it, right? Isn't bacon a carcinogen? So I'd like to know more information. I'd also like to know why it wasn't banned already, right? Was it because someone took some money, or the FDA worked a deal out with some lobby groups? I mean, I hate to sound conspiratorial, but can we try not to poison people? Now, look, I love red licorice, but I'll love it just as much if it's, brown colored or whatever. Although I got to tell you, that red really pops, right? I mean, honest question, how many products did we eat growing up with red dye number 3 in it? I mean, look, we want an organization that fights for our health, and we don't even know who to trust. That's not on us. That's on the FDA, and not, it's like, again, I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but who owns them? The people within the FDA, are they working for us, or, follow the money, folks? Okay. All right. The Philadelphia Eagles fan who called the woman the C word says he was provoked. I actually got people who wrote to me saying, hey, they were egging him on. I mean, look, here's the deal. This Philly fan, we've covered this story a few episodes in a row here. He said some horrible things. I mean, at what point, if you're being egged on, go get someone to, get in the way. I mean, does he have any other witnesses that say he was being egged on? Apparently, the fan that was there from Green Bay had a GoFundMe to get him to the game. I don't have much evidence that's proven that he was egged on, but that's what he's saying here. His name is Ryan Caldwell. He said in a statement to the New York Post, a video that showed him going off on a female Packer backer at Sunday's playoff game at Lincoln Financial Field did not tell the full story. Now, I'm sure it didn't, but the guy said what the guy said. He insists what took place was just before his vulgar rant was banter between all parties. He then strongly implied that Alexander and his fiancée, Allie, egged him on. There are two sides to every story. The video clip circulating online does not reflect the full context of what transpired. My actions were not without provocation. And by the way, I'm sure he's right. There are two sides to a story. But, if the cop catches you sucker punching someone else and you say, well, but he was mean to me first, it's like, sorry, rules are rules. He says, I want to sincerely apologize to Miss Keller for those words, and to my wife, family, and friends, my former employer and colleagues, Packer fans, Eagle fans, the Philadelphia Eagles, the city of Philadelphia, and all who are offended. I will live with this experience, and I am certainly paying a personal price. Yeah, he lost his job. I mean, I feel bad. I feel bad for all involved. It sounds like it's just a stupid thing to fight with people at a game. It's that never ends well. All right. Well, a little update on the LA wildfires. A Topanga resident says the suspicious hiker was arrested. We covered the story a few days ago where this guy was yelling at the hiker, like, "Who are you?" And the guy's like, "I don't want to tell you." And he's like, "Where are you going?" And the guy's like, "I don't know." And well, as it turns out, he was arrested. Now, we don't know if he was the one actually setting off the fire. But how sketchy is that? More info to come. All right, how about some UFO news? You want some UFO talk? We like some out-of-this-world content. Here's Air Force veteran whistleblower saying he saw an egg-like UAP. This is from News Nation, and he's an Air Force vet, Jake Barber. He believes he was involved in the recovery of alien technology. Whenever we talk about alien technology, we need to get the right soundboard up. So here it is, folks. Alien or not, we love a little UFO talk. Here it is.
How long have you known this secret about unidentified, anomalous phenomena, being of non-human origin?
For more than 10 years. We did recover things that were exotic in nature in the sky, and we know they were classified craft.
So tell me about the moment when you realized that you were involved in a retrieval of non-human technology.
By the way, this is why I could never work in this department. I would for sure be getting a couple photos for the gram. You know what I mean? They're like, "This is top secret." I'm like, "I know. I'm just sharing it with my boys." Can I not share some alien products with my Patreon.com/Dave Neal? Let me tell you something. If I ever find any evidence of aliens out there, folks, I will be releasing the photos on Patreon.
Alien tech.
So it became very clear the first time our communication process and procedure was modified. And then just visually looking at the object on the ground, you could tell that it was extraordinary and anomalous. It was not human.
What did you see?
I saw an egg, a white egg.
Was there any visible propulsion system on it?
No, not what we would know.
Sir, that was Easter Sunday. You were at an Easter egg hunt. So he's like, "I saw an egg. There was pastel on the egg, and there was a chocolate. There was red dye number 3, and
There was no engine. There was no thermal signature.
How did you know that egg-shaped object was non-human in origin?
Well, visually, after seeing all kinds of things in my past, it was clearly something that was ridiculously looking. It's inconsistent with anything I'd ever seen before. I can also tell you that the reaction by my team, we all knew we were dealing with something extraordinary.
There it is, folks. You heard it here first. Play the X-Files music. The Easter Bunny is an alien. All right, get on that, X-Files. Okay, let's move it on to our next story here. One more story before we take a break. Oh, let's go to TikTok. It could go offline in the U.S. on Sunday if the ban moves ahead. Oh, come on. Football ratings are going to spike. Oh, maybe this is a conspiracy. Did the NFL want to ban TikTok? Either way, here's the breaking news story. Will it be banned? Will it stick around for 9 more months? Let's find out.
TikTok is considering taking TikTok offline in this country if that federal ban does go into effect Sunday. This is according to somebody familiar with the company's planning.
What we're looking at are a couple of likely scenarios here. One thing that TikTok could do is it could pull the app from being able to function immediately. So just right away, when you open the app, it doesn't work. You aren't able to see anything. The other option is that even though the app is taken away from the app stores, it still exists on your phone. And when you're using the app over time, it would then start to degrade in quality because it wouldn't be able to send updates through the app.
All right, we have to get out of that. Her voice annoyed me. I'm sorry. It's not you, it's me. You triggered me. I could smell cucumber melon perfume for some reason. I felt like I was in a limited 2. I don't know. Okay, let's just move it on. That was for me. Next story, we've got a TikTok sale possibly happening. Billionaires Project Liberty has offered bid for TikTok's U.S. assets. Listen, anything with the name Liberty in it, I don't really trust. I don't know. That's just me. Let's have a listen.
Own TikTok.
I want Project Liberty to own TikTok. And yes, I'm connected to Project Liberty, but I want this to be, we call it the people's bid for a reason. And we want people, all of us in America, as many as possible, to have a stakehold in not only TikTok, but the future of the internet. We've engaged with ByteDance through our banker, and we have received acknowledgement that they've received our offer.
How much are you and your partners willing to spend on TikTok?
We're going to keep the terms of our offer confidential out of respect for them until they have a chance to digest it. However, I have been fairly public about what we think it's worth and the amount of money we've raised. And that's order of magnitude $20 billion. And
there it is. So they're offering $20 billion for TikTok. Again, does this even make a difference? Is TikTok willing to crack open the algorithm? Are they spying on us? I mean, we already know that our government's spying on us. You know what I mean? It's like, but by all means, we don't think our government's going to invade us. And look, people have said, hey, what's the big deal, TikTok? And it's like, I understand. I think Meta, which is Instagram and Facebook, I think Snapchat, TikTok, I think all of these apps have so much control over the psyche that it's dangerous. And it just so happens that TikTok is a foreign-owned company. So therefore, could they push a certain political candidate in an election? Could they push chaos if they want to disrupt us or kind of dumb us down? Absolutely. But so can Facebook. And again, I don't know the solution here, but it'll be very interesting. This weekend, I've got V from Under the Desk News who's going to talk with me. V was, met with President Biden recently and has been interviewed by all the big media organizations and is considered a real top dog on TikTok as far as independent news goes. So I'm very much looking forward to that interview to just find out what the next steps are. All right. Coming up next, we've got Brianna LaPaglia, a.k.a. Brianna Chicken Fry, explaining what this means to her to be on the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition digital cover of January. That coming next. All right, up next, we've got goats, bikinis, and the hills. Not in that order. Here's the bikinis. It's Brianna Chicken Fry, and she was set to work with the Sports Illustrated swimsuit last May. Then Zach Bryan's reaction changed everything. Oh boy, Zach Bryan's getting blasted here. So now Sports Illustrated decided to hire her, not on the red carpet, but for the swimsuit photos. Have a listen.
Last May, I was asked to host the red carpet by you guys, and so excited. We had a bunch of calls about it. I had told my ex about the opportunity. In the beginning, he was like, oh, that's really cool, but isn't Sports Illustrated trashy? And then aren't they going to ask you to walk in a bikini?
So there it is, the bikini. All right. Yep. And that's exactly what went down. And good for her. And look, say what you want about Brianna Chicken Fry. She turned down a $12 million NDA because she didn't want to be silenced. Zach Bryan, you date a woman from New England, you can't shut her up. Trust me. I know a thing or two about that. All right. We did the bikini. Now we're going on to the hills. Here's Heidi Montag and Spencer Pratt opening up about losing their home in the Palisades. Of course, Good Morning America. Several days late to the party as they've been going super viral on TikTok. Nonetheless, here's what she had to say.
Spencer was like, grab anything you want to keep. And I was like, how do you choose? My brain actually stopped.
Start with your children. You bring your kids.
Working because I was so overwhelmed with so many things you can't replace. So I grabbed my kids' teddy bears.
This morning, Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag opening up after the devastating loss of their home in the Pacific Palisades fire.
What was it that made this one so different when you realized, oh my gosh, we might not survive this one?
The worst was our kids' room that is so magical. We do story time every night. It's such our routine. So much love is in there. Our son's bed started just burning in the shape of a heart. The fire just started as a heart. I was like, this is out of body.
I want to say, how did they know this? But they probably had their Ring camera footage. Can you imagine just in the modern world we live in that you can probably tune into your Ring camera footage to get updates on what's going on with regard to whether or not your home makes it or not. And of course, they had mentioned they were just dropped with the fire insurance was just dropped recently. So we'll continue to discuss. Actually, let's play a little bit more of their clip.
Body insane.
It's going to be me and you here, right?
Wow.
Deal. The couple rose to fame on the reality TV series The Hills, now together for more than 15 years.
Shane Wallet.
Obviously, I'm in shock and my brain's not functioning.
The duo chronicling the aftermath to their combined 3.1 million TikTok followers.
And of course, his following has grown substantially the last week or two. He's been posting TikToks on the hour, knowing full well that the app might be going away, and he's trying to squeeze out whatever he can to provide for his family. Now, in the past, you would look at Spencer Pratt and you'd say, oh, he's in it for the wrong reasons, or he's a clout chaser. But now people are understanding, hey, the guy just lost his home. All he's trying to do is fight for his family. And I think if we brought that energy to most influencers and most people out there, you'd realize they're just like, hey, yeah, make a couple episodes a day of this, dumb, fun podcast I do. Maybe you get to watch during your lunch break. Maybe it's funny. Maybe it's serious. We get to connect in one way or another. And I'm trying to provide for my family, right? We're all just doing that, right? We're all trying to, have a little safety net for ourselves. And I just think when we see people, maybe the rich and the famous, we think, oh, they figured it out. No, the guy's worrying about, his kids' stuffed animals, right? All right, let's take a turn from that very tragic story to an interesting one, which is here we have Cowboy Max. He says, I don't know if goats would have made a difference in this situation, but I do know they're great at reducing fire fuels. I don't know if you guys know this. Goats are used, and let me play this clip here. Goats are actually used to clear brush. They're fantastic lawn mowing systems. They clear brush. Like, look at this crazy view for the YouTube audience here. If you're listening on the audio, they literally can just eat through vegetation and then they go on their way. So what they do is they bring these goats in giant trucks and let them loose in a certain confined area. And it's good because they can take away vegetation in areas and invasive areas where, lawnmowers can't reach things. And, I say this, we need more goats. I think we need more goats. We can do goat milk, goat cheese, and then the goats can eat, of course, all of the brush. Sounds like a plan, right?
It has been proven that goats and sheep are very efficient and very good.
The sheep too. Don't forget the sheep, goats and the sheep.
At creating defensible spaces and reducing fire loads, especially on steep embankments where conventional machinery and people can't do a very good job. Again, to answer everybody's questions, I don't know if they would have made a difference on this or not because I don't know the details. In general, though, however, goats and sheep are a fantastic tool for reducing the fire fuels load that are in our wildlands, our forest areas, and in that wildland urban interface, which is where it really becomes important that for both people and structures and wildlife habitat, all of that is maintaining and being maintained safely.
So yeah, there it is. Justice for the goats. I don't own a big property with a farm or anything, but I tell you what, if I did, the first thing I would do is buy a couple goats. You can't just buy one goat. Don't be an a-hole. You got to get a companion for your goat. Next thing you know, you want a sheep and a funny looking donkey and you got a whole setup. I become Noah's Ark over here just so I can mow the lawn. All right, so let's move it on. Next story, very interesting stuff. Saving this for the end. I've got several political stories. It is a very big politically charged week. Here we have, reported by CBS News, Senator Dick Durbin, Democrat from Illinois, asking Pam Bondi, President-elect Trump's nominee for Attorney General, if she accepts that Trump lost. Spoiler alert, she's going to dodge the question. They should have nominated her for chief of the dodgeball team the way she dodges this. Have a listen.
Acknowledge Donald Trump has never acknowledged the legal results of the 2020 election. Are you prepared to say today under oath without reservation that Donald Trump lost the presidential contest to Joe Biden in 2020?
Ranking Member Durbin, President Biden is the president of the United States. He was duly sworn in, and he is the president of the United States.
Don't you hate this? I just want things to be fair. Biden is going to show up to Trump's inauguration. Michelle Obama won't, but Biden's going to be there, right? He's going to do what every president in the modern era has done, which is show up after you lost. I know a thing or two about losing, okay? I've had, struggles with different parts of my career and, my weight and my, relationships. We all know about losing, right? We know how to take a loss. I can take a loss like the best of them. Trump can't. He can't take a loss. He lost. And you might say, well, but the electorates and the this and the that. Well, listen, right? Didn't Fox get sued for hundreds of millions of dollars by Dominion voting systems because they lied, right? They lied. They didn't tell the truth. How come not one judge has overturned the election in any of the counties where they said, well, there's bamboo fibers that came in from China, and well, they were delivering sandwiches to the workers and they slipped in a couple ballots. How come the election was rigged 4 years ago? And now, in good faith, they took a look at it. Trump won the popular vote, not by as much as people initially thought once they did the final counting, and he won the Electoral College by an electoral landslide. I'm smart enough to admit that when you got a loss, it's like, hey, yeah, that guy won. Now, did he win by some grand mandate where he had 90%? No, but he won. He won. Did he win over 50% of the vote? No, he won 49 and she won 48 or 47 and, RFKs, whatever the hell. But my point is, it's like, don't we just want something that's fair? And how come my Republican friends can't call this out? How come they can't call out this bullshit that you see right here?
There was a peaceful transition of power.
Peaceful transition of power. It would have been more peaceful if Trump showed up, admitted he lost, and then tried again the correct and legal way to win 4 years later.
President Trump left office and was overwhelmingly elected in 2024.
Do you have any doubts that Joe Biden had the majority of votes, electoral votes necessary to be elected president in 2020?
Senator, all I can tell you as a prosecutor is from my firsthand experience.
All right. So then she goes into anecdotal. I saw weird stuff going on. There was a guy with his hand in his pocket. One dude had his thumb shoved up his ass. And I'm like, where's the hanging Chad? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. All right. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more right after this. Ivanka Trump, the adult daughter of Donald Trump, of course, says, you know what? I'm going to be steering clear of Washington this time around. Here's what she had to say.
I love policy and impact. I hate politics. And unfortunately, the two are not separable. There is a darkness to that world that I don't really want to welcome into mine. To some degree, I'm, at the center of the storm because my father is about to be president, but it's a very dark, negative business.
Yeah, so there it is. Very nice set there. Ivanka Trump told the Him and Her Show podcast that she would not be returning to work in Washington during her father's second term. All right, hey, it's not for her. That's fine. All right. Joe Biden last night gave his farewell address. Regardless of who you vote for, I just think as an American citizen, it's good to listen to the State of the Union, the farewell addresses, the big moments. Like I said, regardless, I'm gonna listen and watch to Donald Trump during his State of the Union, and I have made sure I listen to all these things. Why? Well, I think it's important to get source material. Hear from what people actually said about things, and hear the long form convo. Now, I can't provide that for you, but hey, maybe you're on YouTube or a podcast already, and you can just Google it. Here it is. So Biden warns that an oligarchy is taking shape during his farewell address. And you know what? He's not exactly wrong. And we'll get to that second story next.
I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. And that's the dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. And the dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. We see the consequences all across America, and we've seen it before, more than a century ago. But the American people stood up to the robber barons back then and busted the trusts. They didn't punish the wealthy, just made the wealthy play by the rules everybody else had to. People should be able to make as much as they can, but play by the same rules, pay their fair share of taxes.
Look, I've been saying this for a long time, right? And people say, well, he paid $50 billion in taxes or million, but he made, an infinite amount more, This is why I think there should be a flat tax code. Everyone pay 15%, whatever it is. But instead, you have good working, lower middle class people paying 30% or 25% with their whatever the numbers are, right? And then you've got the rich having the money and resources to move it around, claim investment property losses, and it's just insane. But what's more insane is that they can shape the way we converse. Between Elon Musk owning Twitter, banning people that call him out, to Facebook kind of doing whatever the hell they want to do. I mean, I don't trust any of these apps, and I don't think anybody should, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on. Here is an interesting report about where they'll be sitting during the inauguration.
Okay, so NBC News has confirmed at next week's inauguration, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg will all be there sitting together and sitting with Trump's cabinet picks, which means the VIPI seats. And I want you to just think about this. These three men all have major businesses in technology, right? Things like artificial intelligence, social media, interest in cryptocurrency, industries that could face massive regulatory changes over the next few years. And if these three individuals have control or have say or have influence over what that regulation looks like, get ready. They will have more zeros next to their names in terms of personal wealth than you and I can even count.
I mean, there it is. Elon Musk donates $250 million and he becomes richer after that. What is going on? Right, folks? Here is an interesting statement we'll end on. This is wild. This is what we're looking forward to for the next 4 years. Love it or hate it, this is the reality we live in. Here's Donald Trump sharing his job listing with his audience. Again, this is real. This is absolutely real. As of today, the incoming Trump administration has hired over 1,000 people for the United States government. They are outstanding in every way, and you will see the fruits of their labor over the coming years. We will make America great again, and it will happen very quickly. In order to save time, money, and effort, it would be helpful if you would not send or recommend to us people who worked with or are endorsed by Americans for No Prosperity, headed by Charles Koch, Dumb as a Rock, John Bolton, Bird Brain Nikki Haley, Mike Pence, disloyal warmongers Dick Cheney and his psycho daughter Liz, Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan, General Mark Milley, James Mattis, Mark Jesper, or any of the other people suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, more commonly known as TDS. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Listen, I don't think I suffer from TDS. I think I'm going to continue to call it out as it is. It's a time to be vigilant. It's a time to continue to ramp up your critical thinking skills. Maybe get off social media. Don't argue with strangers and just buckle up, folks. And hopefully we can, hopefully we can continue to share fun, interesting news, but also call things out. Like, I think you guys respect my opinion. If I think something's wrong, I'm going to share it with you. I'm not going to be worried if you're going to unfollow me or unsubscribe because it's not the popular thing to say or do. We've got a backbone. We have a spine here. We can admit when an election was won or lost. And that's why you're either here or that's why you've left. Either way, that says something about you. I appreciate all of you that have stuck around. Those that are here have been with us for a long while, and it means the world to me. More to come. We'll be back this afternoon. I'm Dave Neal. This is The Rush.